Well, for more on our top story about the UN's expression of concern about the Saudi-backed Bahraini regime's clampdown on opposition activists in that country, we're now joined by Mr. Husain Abdulla, who is a human rights activist and is also director for Americans for Democracy and Human Rights in Bahrain, who is joining us via satellite from Mobile, Alabama. Mr. Abdulla, as always, thank you very much for joining our broadcast. Now, I'd like to ask you, next week, the Bahraini regime has announced that it will be holding a day called the Loyalty Day, in which people across the country are supposed to express their loyalty to the king. Do you believe that such measures will be successful for the regime?
Well, I mean, they will do everything possible to make it successful. They're going to invite all the local media, or they're going to force all the local media to come and cover it and bring those who supposedly loyal to the regime to come and show loyalty to the king and his regime, or the Khalifa ruling family. I mean, this move shows you how shameful this regime is, that is forcing the people of Bahrain to come and show loyalty and sign some kind of documentation. And those who don't sign the documentation, basically they'll have some repercussion. Such move will be rejected by the majority of the people. You're going to see some few numbers going here and there and paying their their dues to this family, but the majority of the people will basically reject such move.
Right, sir, the international organizations seem to be finally waking up to what is happening in Bahrain. We've obviously had Amnesty calling for this executions that are set to take place in Bahrain to be stopped. We've also now today had the Overseas Press Club of America sending out letters to Bahraini officials saying that, they are aware of journalists being detained and stopped from doing their work. We've also had the AFL-CIO labor movement that's based in the U.S. saying that it is against the trade pact between the U.S. and Bahrain. Do these international actions make any difference, really, within Bahrain?
Yes, of course it does, especially the trade union move in the United States. And one important action was taken today from the United Nations statement was very critical and very strong. There was very much strong language in it toward the government of Bahrain. This shows you that the people of Bahrain and human rights activists in Bahrain were successful in reaching out and telling the whole world that what is going on in Bahrain is serious human rights atrocities and serious human rights violation. And all these statements, whether it's Amnesty International, Doctors Without Borders, AFL-CIO, or the United Nations, is nothing but another sign and another victory to the people of Bahrain to transfer its demand and make it into an international issue, not only a local issue.
I do apologize for cutting you off. It seems that we have run out of time. That was Mr. Husain Abdulla, human rights activist and director for Americans for Democracy and Human Rights in Bahrain, joining us via satellite from Mobile, Alabama. Mr. Abdulla, as always, we do appreciate your insight here at Press TV.